Well, good morning everyone, welcome to Satsang. Let's make some silence first, while others can join also. Okay, just reminding everyone that we use WhatsApp as a means of communication. You can send your questions directly to me, and the number appears on the comments there. Well, okay. So let's talk a little bit about seekers of truth and some differences. It is quite normal to see seekers of truth that, especially in the beginning, are unbalanced. They don't know really what they are looking for. They are very restless. And they find no stability almost in anything. A seeker of truth is different from, they can share some similarities, but it is different from what is called the spiritualized people in mundane terms. One of the biggest differences is that one looks for the improvement of life, to become a better person, to serve the world better, which is a good thing, of course. But this is what drives this seeker. The seeker of truth is driven by thirst and hunger. Hunger for the direct realization of the divine. And probably you will see them both doing more or less the same things, but it is for different reasons. The one that seeks to become a better person, a more spiritualized person, that is the end purpose. The other one is doing it because of what he wants to achieve, of what he wants to reach. So one will be more stable, the other one will be more unstable. It's like more or less like, for one, spirituality has become mainstream, has become a way of life, a context, yes, a way of life. And the other one, it is a means for life, a means for life. It is common also, and as a seeker of truth that doesn't find stability, a lot of restlessness, and observes these other spiritualized people that are going through all these philosophies, studying these philosophies and taking care of their lives, they find it very difficult to understand. How can they maintain that stability? How can things flow in a sense? And they cannot. So they tend to judge themselves as to be less than the others, as to have some defect or something of the sort. And usually this is not the case, it's absolutely the other way around. You see, it is very easy for people to study spiritual matters. But if it is for curiosity or for self-improvement and all of these things, then the content, the intensity, the fire is difficult, or it's not even a question of difficult, is what is the use of it? There's no use for it. And the seeker of truth, that restlessness, it's because he knows that he is looking for something, but he has no idea what it is. He doesn't have time to study and to go through things and to mature in the same way that others. Because whatever he has done in his previous life, it has brought maturity, and in this next birth, if his sanskars would take him to a place where he would be surrounded by spiritual-minded people, where he could learn in an early age yoga, meditation, and this, which is seen as, in the yoga philosophy, as something good. But for those who have this potential for transcendence already, they are mature, ripe in that sense. If they would found these things, it's not a general rule, but it works like this. They would waste more time actually than they were gain, because it is, and depending on when this happens, in which cycles of time, but it would be more easy to spirituality to become mainstream, to become a way of life. And this takes the substance out of it. So these kinds of births, that it's like taking birth in an alien island where nobody speaks your language. Those around you, they do not understand you. You cannot relate to their types of life, and you don't approve it also because you feel that it is not right. But still, those are your references, and this creates a lot of pain in the beginning, because these seekers tend to try to live that life that others around them, their parents, their family, their friends, the life that they are living. But something there is telling, no, it's not this. So a lot of chaos and confusion and suffering arises. And this intends quick maturing of these instruments of the body-mind complex. Its purpose is to mature fast, intensely. So spiritual practice leads to maturity, yes, in the long run. But these life experiences in this way bring it much faster. And this is good, because as you're maturing into this suffering, when you come in contact with the teachings, then they will bring a different effect inside of you. And as this suffering is there, there is this intense quest to belong, even. And to belong has this feeling inside that this is it. It's not about circumstances. It's about this giving the feedback, this is it. Because circumstances, there's always problems, and there's problems in every lives. And that's just a matter of perspective, of course. So the lives of these seekers are not easy, they are very difficult, especially because they don't trust themselves, they don't, well, how could they? All their experiences, if they are seeing a life, they are going to a life that inside says, this is not right, this is not for me, but that's the only life they know. So they want to belong, they try to belong, and they just get this feedback that I'm not being able to do this, so I must not be good enough or something. There must be a problem with me. And others around, they give the same feedback. They ask, but what's the matter with you? What's your problem? Can't you just take it easy and just relax, and don't you find any stability or something? This is asked from the other side also. So this low self-esteem is something that marks during a certain time. But eventually, as this maturing is coming, they are seeking, and they will start to find. And this depends on each and everyone's story, how it has to go. And when they find it, they are not really ready for it at the level of the personality. They cannot settle with other things, but the ones that their heart is giving a feedback of, this is it, they cannot settle with it in terms of personality, of the ideas that they bring. The ideas are too far out. They were too far out in that worldly life, so they are beyond those beliefs about human mundane life, but they are also are falling short into spiritual wisdom and spiritual teachings and the nature of them and what they intend, how it works. They have a lot of catch up to do. And their way of doing this is in that accelerated movement, because they are being dragged, and intensity is a mark in their lives. So tests come intensely, and they come and they come and they come. It's always like this. And the purpose is to mature, to accelerate that maturing process. So these are the ones who eventually, as they are ready, they go to the core of the teachings, not to the form, but to the essence of the teaching. Others will settle with the form. These ones, the form is actually difficult, challenging sometimes, because there's something inside them that says, no, but this is what I'm looking for, is beyond this. It's not really this. They feel it. But they will have to conform and go through the form also, so that they can access the content. But it is the content that they are looking for. Others will settle more or less with the form, to stabilize that form, a spiritual practice, and practice it, and going and taking life together, slowly, slowly. These seekers of truth, they cannot entertain this too long. They will have to learn it for the right reasons. But they know it's not the form really. And all these difficulties that are coming, problems will come, intense problems. And the tendency to try to solve them, to continue to establish some security, will be there also. Like it always has been, because it always has been asked to be this way. And it always had this urge to establish oneself. So this tendency to try to solve the problems will be there. And this will create a lot of confusion, fear, and even immobility. But this lack of stability, this has a point. This has been teaching you that actually there's no stability anywhere. It has been a big spiritual teaching there available for you, because it is not about solving problems, it is about surrendering. So whatever problem is there, you may think that if you can solve it intellectually, you have made some progress, if you find the solution. But that's not the highest. By far, it's not the highest. Because there's a lot of questions that you can see. Problems with life as the way people are living it. You can see that. But what is the point of seeing that if then you do the same? So to learn to live in this insecurity, and this insecurity is just a word that is based on the vision that there is any security, that you can establish any security. But things can change like this very fast. From heaven to hell and from hell to heaven. Very fast. There's actually no control. So learning to live in this way is very useful, very needed. So in a sense, these seekers, they learn to live this way because they are exposed to it. They fight it, of course, but still they are exposed to this. So there's a lot of roots that cannot form, and this is good. Because these seekers then will tend to make a 180 degrees shift in their lives. And the less they have holding them back, the better. So other people, they are usually not a reference for you if you are identifying yourself with these words. Others are not something that they are not someone that you can compare to. Your path is completely different. So you have already a lot of wisdom, and that wisdom is creating havoc in the ways that you're trying to structure yourself, structure your life. Because you see that it's useless, pointless. But what you're missing is the other part. So you know too much for that life to make any sense or meaning, but you still have two less of the other part. So to make this shift, you need to establish yourself, your basis, your security must become your spiritual practice. Your security, your base, your whole world, the only thing that matters. So starting a meditation practice, not as something that you put inside your life with other things, but that which you install at the center and make all else just support your spiritual practice, your meditation, making it the center and intensifying it, intensifying it, intensifying it. Everything will come out from that. So to become a seeker of truth, to follow that path, it's to enter the path of the discipleship, where you become a disciple and God is the master, and you work your way into His direction. And whatever is happening, you see it as His teaching. And your biggest struggles is because you're not surrendering. Your biggest afflictions is because you're not surrendering. And without surrendering your life completely to God, or the source, or whatever you want to call it, it is wasting time. Because eventually you will feel much more in peace when you actually surrender it. And you learn to live in that relationship. Stability for you comes later. As you leave your past behind, as you leave that former life completely behind, and you established in the place where you should be, where you have to be, that is according to the level of maturity that you already have. Not maturity at the level of the personality, but the gold that you brought with you. So if you're facing problems, learn to surrender. Don't look for solutions here where the problems are being seen, anticipated, created. Move yourself from this and establish more and more into your meditation. Intensify it. Make it the center. Let the answers come from there. Let everything come from there. Everything has a purpose. But sometimes it takes time to see it. Always takes time to see it. Difference is some don't see it immediately, others think they are seeing it, but same. And there's actually no reason to be afraid. Absolutely no reason. Because life is glorious. And is glorious to those who dare. So to conquer all these ghosts of low self-esteem and all of that, it is the path towards greatness. And greatness is surrendering to the divine. And that is the thirst in your heart, that which not drives you, that pulls you. There's a difference, because some are driven, others are pulled. So the less you resist, the better. As you resist, pain will intensify, will increase. Okay, so that's it for today. Next satsang will be Saturday, 9 a.m. UTC -3 Brazilian time.